Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we are doing a part 2 of one of my most viral videos here on YouTube. This video that I did about a year ago now, over a year ago actually, just was a huge hit. And today we are going to do a part 2, a more updated version. Hopefully you can tell by the way my makeup looks right now. I just filmed it. This side is the mistakes, or the not the best way to do your makeup in my opinion, and this side is the better way to do your makeup. And so we are going to be talking about 5 things how to improve applying your makeup, and I really hope you find it helpful. But always just remember that this is just makeup, and I learned a lot from that video. So many people had really lovely comments and were just so kind. But of course, with anything going viral, you get both. You get the good and the bad, and that's okay. That's what happens. That's all a part of putting yourself out on the internet. That's okay. I have thick skin. I've been, a freelance creative for like 12 years now, so it's water off a duck's back. Is that the saying? I just find it reflects more on the person that wrote the comment than it does on me, because I don't know what you look like, and all these things, take them with a grain of salt. Obviously I'm doing them on myself because that's the model that I have here today. I'm doing them on me. They may be a little bit different for you and your complexion and your face shape and just your style and what you like, but if you want, please keep watching, and we are going to be talking about 5 things and a few bonus ones as well. So let's get started in the video. Oh, but before, if you please consider subscribing, that would be really nice. And yeah, let's get started. Also, another thing, my voice is not the best. I am still recovering from having the cold at the start of the year, and I feel fine. I'm fine. It's just like still leaving my system. It's taking its sweet time to exit. But that's it. That's it. Okay, let's roll the video. Let's do number 1. So, a mistake that women often make, mostly women not in Asia but in Western countries, because we are kind of, be quite pale, and so the thought is to apply a foundation that is a little bit, warms you up. A lot of people say when I do makeup, I don't want to look too pale. I want makeup to be something that makes me look more sun-kissed. But if you apply foundation that is too dark for you, like this one, as you can see, it is really orange. Not severely, but it is. It's just a little bit too dark. For me, so applying a foundation that is a little bit too yellow and warm on your face is something that people do to think it makes them look a bit more like they've caught the sun, or they're less like sickly looking, because when you're quite pale you can look quite sick looking, like, yeah, pale. But there is better ways to give you this warmth in your skin that's not using a foundation that is just straight up the wrong shade for your face. This is the exact same foundation but in different shades. This is the foundation that I actually use in my makeup kit for clients a lot of the time. This is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and I have used it since the beginning of time as a makeup artist, so 11 years ago, and I love it. It's just, I can really work with it and do so much with it, and build it up, spread it out. Just, there's so many ways to use this foundation. Make it more coverage. You can apply it in so many different ways as well. Okay, and this shade that I'm using that I find is a better match for me is NC15, and actually it's a really popular shade. It works on a huge amount of people. I hope this is coming up dark enough, but... So, as you can see, that is a great match for me. That is my chest. It is a winter here. We do actually have the sun out today, but I don't spend much time in the sun. This one is too warm and yellow for my complexion, but I'm going to show you how you can warm up your face in a way that isn't just wearing the wrong shade of foundation. So, bronzer in the right places will create a warm sun-kissed look that looks right and sits with your face and doesn't look like you're wearing a blanket of the wrong color. This is a cream bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury. And starting further back and building up slowly to sculpt the face and add warmth to the face in a way that is natural and suits my complexion so much more. The cream really blends in, melts into the skin. You can always use your fingers, pat things out, build up slowly. Sometimes going over the ears is a good idea, and then bringing it down onto the sides of the neck. You do want to make sure you don't bring it too much on the neck, because you can, throughout the day, notice if you have wrinkles on your neck, you will see that there is like some bronzer kind of gathered in there, which is not ideal. Even across your brow bone is a nice place to put a little bit when you have less on your brush. Just check, step back, have a look, make sure everything is blended. And now I hope you can see how I've added warmth to my face. I still now look healthy and warmed up without a blanket cover of kind of essentially bronzer, but all over the face, as what we did with the foundation that is just too yellow, a little bit too yellow and a shade too dark for me. Whereas this side, it's the right foundation essentially, and we have added bronzer in a natural way and in a sculpted way, and like kind of layering it in areas where you would get sun-kissed, sculpting the face. And it's just a much better option rather than going in directly with the wrong shade of foundation to add warmth to the face. I hope that's making sense. And for instance, these shades of foundation that I did use are the similar tones, so they're both NC, and this side has NC 15 and this side has NC 25. So it is jumped up a few stops, and that's why it's not the best choice. I might be able to get away with it in the summertime, but I still prefer the method of using a foundation that matches your skin, and you do want to match like your chest kind of area. Our necks can be quite pale all the time, so match your chest, bring that up, and add bronzer if you really want to have more of a sun-kissed effect rather than the alternative. Moving on to number two, mistake number two that people often make is putting too much concealer on, too far up, and a shade that is just too bright. So in an effort to brighten the under eyes, people will pick a concealer that is just too many stops brighter than their actual skin tone in an effort to brighten the under eyes, and in return this actually just makes your skin look a little bit grey and flat and not flattering. So I have put a better concealer shade on this side that I really like from Hourglass in the shade Creme, and just a tiny bit, okay? And you notice I'm letting them settle in, and I'm going to show you what not to do on this side. So I still love to use my fingers, bringing your concealer right up to the under eye, right up to the lash line, this actually makes your eyes look smaller. I don't know if you can see that. It kind of shrinks your eyes. It's going to make the creasing even more, because right up near the eye, near the lash line, is where we have a lot of more fine lines. Okay, concealer. So foundation too dark, concealer a little bit too bright. On this side, what we want to do is don't let the concealer get too far up. You want to leave this area because our eyes naturally have like a shadow there and a bit of contouring that's actually helpful in making your eyes look bigger. In a way, I'll make it, this will make more sense a little bit further along. Keeping it just here in this kind of triangle where we often have the darkest discoloration. Making sure we blend on the nose just here. And you see what I'm doing when I'm using my fingers? This one is the one that I first started patting out the concealer. And then when I get to the edges, I switch to the other finger, which has less or no product on it. And kind of using that to blur and soften the edges without bringing out more product. And then we can go back to here. Now there's less. And then what's left on your finger, just pressing on the top here, because we often have a lot of darkness in this region, and it's okay to go really close to the eye there because it actually brightens and opens up the eye, but not bringing it right up here. Don't bring it in this region. You can always even wipe off a bit. I hope you see those differences, how this eye is just looking even a little bit more smaller and closed off. It accentuates like a bag or fine lines in that area. This eye is still nice and bright and awake and lifted looking, but just in a little bit more of a flattering way. I think it's done a great job at brightening the eye as well. Number 3, we are going to be talking about eyeshadow and where to put eyeshadow to make your eye appear bigger and brighter, and how not to make it look too beady and small and round, which often people can make the mistake of doing. So going in straight away with a shadow that is a little bit too dark and taking it in. Often people bring it in like this, really far in, and not taking it out enough. Often we think, oh, we've just put the dark shadow in the crease, in the socket here, like that. You nestle your brush in there. And when we go to the other side, I will show you what I mean. And then they take a darker shadow and put that here. That's a real, like, typical area. Kind of just darken there. Taking a brush, you blend it out a bit. And then you completely forget to put anything underneath. You just leave it like this, all heavy on the top. Let me show you how better to do the eye. Also, we didn't use any blending shades. So picking up a color, oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually using this beautiful palette. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the palette Spice. Absolutely still loving this. I've shown you guys before here on YouTube. I'm taking this light shadow. The colors I used on this side were this one and this one here. I'm going to take this lighter color and just buff that over my lid everywhere, just to give us a nice little fluffy, powdery texture. Not too much in the inner corner because that's even brighter. This shadow is still even a little bit darker. Okay. Then I'm going to go in with another fluffy brush into the grey color, kind of next to it. And instead of placing it in the socket there, like nestling in that area, I'm going to hover just above that and not bring it in very far past my iris, and then flicking it up and out, pulling it out. We often need to start and pull the shadow out a lot further than what we think we can pull it out quite far. And this helps knock back this bone. I have quite a pronounced one, you may not. Putting the shadow on the top of the bone opens up the eye and doesn't make this part more pronounced by adding the shadow underneath. You can see that between the two eyes, okay? And layering that very skin color underneath first allows for everything to blend so much nicer. Then I'm going to take a smaller fluffy brush, this one here, and take the similar color that I placed in this shading area and wrap it around the edge. Wrap it around, bring it around the corner onto the lower lash line, focusing on the outer part, not bringing it too far in because that will close off the eye. We're keeping all the darker colors on this area and brighter colors here. Somewhat connecting it up to that area, but being careful not to go too far in the depth, in the hollow. Taking a fluffy brush, blurring all that together. That's a big difference. Look how much more open and lifted that eye looks. Using lighter shadows, lighter colors, and then this eye looks a lot more rounder and beady and really highlights this bump, this bone that I have there to hold my eyeball in. But this eye, I think, is just a lot more modern, so to say. And then bringing it around really opens up the eye, whereas we've forgotten that. We've put the concealer right up to the lash line, and it makes the eye a little bit smaller looking, whereas this one, it opens it up and frames the eye. And I always feel like when you see makeup looks and women, if you do just put a little bit of softness there, your makeup instantly looks a lot more professional and well done. I think like in the 90s and the early 2000s, we got a little bit scared of putting anything on the lower part of our lashes because we all, I mean, I did it as well, we all just like put black eyeliner down there and that was it. And obviously we learned from that, and that's not the most flattering way to do your makeup. I think that was like at the end of like the grunge era. And so then we just stopped putting anything under our eyes altogether. But a soft taupey light brown shade with a small like smudgy blush, kind of like this, I will leave it linked below, is so beneficial to your makeup and opening up your eye. You just try it, trust me. It really helps. Soft colors, start with soft colors. You can use your bronzer as well. That works brilliantly as well. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, the next one is eyeliner. I'm not someone that wears eyeliner that much. I feel like my eye shape isn't the best for it, but I'm still going to demonstrate it for you. Not everyone's eye shape is best for liner, and there's other ways that we're talking about that you can make your eyes defined. And I'm going to show that on this eye. Liquid liner. Specifically liquid liner. It's just not for everyone. Everyone's not a good candidate. It's not. It's great for really young people that have really tight skin. Their skin doesn't move around. You have a more opened up almond eye already. You don't have a bump like this that makes it a little bit challenging when you look straight ahead to draw a nice straight line. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, there is the liquid liner on. You can see I've drawn the line right across, done a little flick, and I just don't think it does my eye that many favors in opening up my eye. And it's okay, I'm a makeup artist, it didn't take me that long. I can do them, make them look quite even, but for most people, it's just more tedious than what it's worth. And the result, it just looks a little bit dated, and it's just not that makeup look that we're mostly going for nowadays. A little bit softer edges, blurred edges out. That whole cut crease from the like 2010s kind of era it's not a thing so much anymore. And the color black also too dark for so many people. I rarely use black liner. Most of the time when I do clients, I am using a like dark brown, chocolatey colors, really beautiful colors. This liner I use a lot. This is a Givenchy Khol Couture waterproof pencil. So any of these like in the plastic tubes, twist up like this, waterproof gel pencils is really nice. There's a lot of Japanese ones that are nice as well that are really thin, and I'm going to show you how I would do this. And it's easier for people to do. That's what's so brilliant. In my makeup lessons, I never am teaching eyeliner from a liquid pencil. It's always a gel and a smudgy brush. You scribble it on the outer corner. As we come to the center, we taper it off a little bit, flick it out on the edge, grab your small smudging brush. That's why it doesn't matter if you put it on exactly perfect. Before it dries down and before you move on to your next eye, you take your brush and you blur it out. You smooth it out, back and forth, sliding, pulling it up. Have a look. Oh, that's nice. You take a look in the mirror. Do I want to add more or do I want to stop? Assess. Start with less, build up. That's what you can do with a gel pencil. You can't do that with a liquid liner. I'm going to just add another little round on the very outside corner. Okay. And I'm going to take my brush, blur, and start to slightly flick out. You can take your nail, I love to do this, and just stretch it out like that. Kind of crisps up the edge ever so slightly. Another little blur with the brush. Getting one of these brushes will be very life-changing. And that's it. That's the eyeliner. I just feel like it's a lot softer. It still gives definition to your eye and around the lashes. Once you put mascara on, it looks thicker. All that stuff from what you want from a liquid liner without being eyeliner. Like, it's not eyeliner. I just think this side is a lot more sophisticated and elegant. It wears better throughout the day. So many reasons why I love this side. I'm sure you can see that as well. And that's the fourth tip. Also, I want to say with the brushes and the smudging type brush, your little eye smudger, often people in their like makeup sets from brushes have one that's a little bit more blunt like this. You can do things with this, like a winged eyeliner with eyeshadow. That's great. You want a little bit more of a precise one like this brush. But for this type of smoky effect and for the like eyeshadow underneath the eye and buffing out eyeliner, you do want one that is a little bit more fluffy like this. Not too fluffy. You still want it to be pinpointed, and some of them are flat like this, some of them are more domed. They both work, but you do want something that has a little bit more fluff so you can buff it out rather than one that is kind of like an eyeliner pencil or a brow kind of shaped pencil. Brush, sorry, not pencil. Let's put some mascara on. Okay, the mascara is on and you can see clearly the differences between the eyes, still both defined, but this one is looking a little bit sadder. I didn't even add mascara underneath, and it's just further highlighting how heavy it is on the top and not opened and blurred out, making the eye appear bigger like this side with the mascara all the way around, focusing on the outer corners of the lashes. Moving on to lips and the lip color that a lot of people, everyone, when I do their lips and their makeup, everyone wants a nude lip. Okay, we love nudes, but we do not want to look dead. So, this is a nude. This is a classic cheapy little lipstick from Maybelline in the shade Nude Lust 920. I don't actually have that many nude lipsticks like this in my collection. I have some in my kit, but they're broken down into like a palette. Okay, there's a nude lipstick. You may look at it and like, that's a beautiful nude. I want to use that. That's a perfect nude for me. And you apply it and something is not right. We look dead. Well, I think it looks a bit dead, lackluster. Where's the lips? In photographs, this is not going to photograph nicely at all. You're just going to look a bit off and flat. I had a makeup client this week. I did a lesson with her and she said, yeah, she looks flat in photos. And I think it was definitely her lipstick was not really enhancing her lip area and her lip region. So basing your lipstick, your nude lipstick, with a lip liner. I'm obsessed with lip liners. They do a lot of work for us. They are amazing. They are doing the most in terms of our lips and making them look fuller. We're going to use the exact same lipstick, but I'm going to put a lip liner on underneath to give it a frame. Our lips are highlighted in a way. Okay. Lip liner is on. This is a warm nude shade from Fenty. And now I'm going to pop the nude lipstick, the exact same one, on top. A bit more in the center area. Pat that in. You can you bleed it over the lip liner as well. There we go. This side has lips. This side is a lot more dead. In my opinion. I feel like you can still wear that nude lipstick you want. This basing it with a lip liner underneath is giving us so much more definition, fullness to the lips, and I mean, why wouldn't you? So that was 5, but I have a bonus round. I have a bonus tip for you ladies. What is missing on my face? Something that makes a huge difference that so many women completely ignore. When I'm doing makeup lessons with people, I get them to talk through and walk through what they do. So many of them don't even have a product for this step. Eyebrows. Eyebrows. Where's my eyebrows? My eyebrows are not on. It looks really weird. So it looks even more weird because I actually have really, really blonde eyebrow hairs and I actually haven't tinted them for quite some time. They really need tinting, but there's a little bit there. You can see a little bit. Most people's brows naturally have a lot more color just in this region here. Closer to the front, not quite all the way, but just in this region here, we always have a little bit more tufts of density in terms of color. I actually have hairs all the way along. They just are really fair and blonde. So specifically the tail end of eyebrows, no matter what color hair you have, generally in 95% of cases, people need it filled in, or it will help if you fill it into the eye. And the whole face just gets framed and essentially almost lifted. If you really focus on this top line, I explain them as 2 train tracks. And if you really focus on the top train track, it almost gives a little bit of a lifted vibe to the brow rather than focusing too much on bringing it down. So most people just need to fill it in and blend it into that area that has a lot of color. You really want it to be the same color as your roots of your hair generally if you're a blonde, not too warm. And then flicking up as we come to the front and not bringing it too low here because that will look a little bit more angry. Flicking that up here. And then always go in with a spoolie just to soften everything out. A really hard striped on brow is not as flattering. Come on, that's a difference. Adding in some strength to the edge of the brows gives us frame to the face. As we age and we go through life, our face loses definition and structure and depth, and a brow pencil can do so much in helping bring back some of that definition to our faces. And I mean, it's clear. It's night and day, isn't it? It's a big difference. I'm just going to powder as well, just a little bit. That's also something people should really do. I'm going to just add a little bit of blush. I'm also missing that. I definitely talked about blush on the other video. See, I'm focusing that in the back. This is more bonus steps. And this one, you kind of bring it too low and too intense. I hope that was really helpful. Those are my do's and don'ts again, part 2, seeing as the other one was such a big hit with so many people and helped so many of you. Some of the comments were so lovely, so thank you for that. And yeah, that's the more modern side, and that is the less modern and not as enhanced as it could be, and improved and, you know, elevated techniques as what we do nowadays for our makeup looks. I hope you liked that video. Please comment down below. I love chatting to you guys. Product recommendations, everything that I've used on my face will be linked in the description box as well, always. And yeah, please subscribe if you got this far. I would love that. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.